in planting season. That's typically going to be from the last 10 days of May, the first 10 days of June, just depending on what our soil temperatures get to be. We want it to be around 60 degrees, so we've been there now for a week to 10 days, so we're right there. We've got some beans up that have been in the ground for about 8 or 9 days, so that's great.
Planting season for New Alliance is a nice little rush of business. Obviously, when the weather cooperates, the farmers are in getting seed, certified seed that is guaranteed for it's germ and weed free and everything else. They come in, they get it in their seed tenders typically, or 100-pound or bags by the unit, and they get out and get it in the ground.
Right now, it's really critical that seed gets out to the producers when they need it so that they can get beans planted in a timely manner. Seed could be shipped down as early as February, March, but probably a lot of that is happening in April, I would say. Then as producers are ready for that seed to be delivered to them, we will deliver it if that works with them, because it is a lot of bean seed to plant acres. So it's the most volume of anything that they're planting. So it takes a lot of space in their sheds. It takes a lot of space for them to take delivery of it. So we just work with them on the best way to get the seed to them.
Certified seed is obviously it's been tested, it's been proven, it's been germed. It means we did a germination test to make sure how sound the seed is. It's raised in regions that don't have a disease package or disease issue. They obviously are very highly regulated during production, so there's not noxious weeds or anything else that would be in those seed plots.
Most of the seed grown for dry beans is produced up in Idaho and western Wyoming because of the fact that those areas are disease-free. So I get the question a lot, hey, why can't we grow our own seed here in Nebraska? And it's just because of the long time that we have grown beans in this area, over 100 years, and our incidence of disease is very high. And so a lot of those diseases are seed-borne, so then they're gonna stay in that seed, and you've got the very high likelihood of getting disease that next year with that seed. This year, there are quite a few Great Northerns, pintos. There's also a type of pinto called a slow darkening pinto that doesn't darken as it ages like a traditional pinto does. So there's several acres of those going in. Obviously, there's quite a few light red kidneys. And then there's just a smattering of the other types of beans that we have in Nebraska. But I think the Great Northern percentage has probably risen some compared to the last few years, just because we've seen the surplus in the market shrink. That's positive because we really do a great job growing Great Northerns in Nebraska.
We're the largest producer of Great Northerns. We produce about 85% of the U.S. Great Northerns in the 3 counties here in the Panhandle of Nebraska. Pintos, we're second to North Dakota, but we do produce a lot of pintos. And historically, they are a little bit bigger and brighter, so we are known for our pintos. We have a map in our back room there. Our beans go around the world. I've never added up the countries, but 50, 60 different countries that we export to annually. A lot of local beans. But because of our small population, we must export. It's kind of a unique little fact. The consumption of Alliance, which is 8,000 people, will consume, if they're a normal consuming population, 1 semi-load of beans a year. So when we take in 50, 60 semi-loads a day, we need to do a lot of exporting.
The bean processor, the dealer, the field person, whoever is working with that producer needs to make sure they're available to help that producer whenever they need them throughout the season to make sure things get done properly.
I think we have a fantastic year-round relationship with the grower. We provide the seed, we provide the agronomic inputs through our parent company, Westco, but we're also out in the field. We're doing our best to be the advocate for the grower, being out there, being visible, being knowledgeable about the production side of it too, and then we do the marketing. So we kind of bring it all together, and hopefully we share marketing info early enough that seeding decisions can be made accordingly.
Last year, I threw out some ideas to some people about trying some products, and a few of them did. And a few of them had some of the best beans they've ever had. And so that was, I don't know, it wasn't a plot, it wasn't research, it wasn't scientific data, but maybe that was it. And that's a great thing to start with down that road is, having that relationship that they trust you enough to do what you recommend, and then that it returns something to them. The one thing that I really wish people would know, and that's even true in this valley, in our rural setting that we're in here, and one thing that I really try to communicate to my intern that I have every year is that, you drive by our bean elevators every day throughout the year, whether you're involved in ag or not, and they're not flashy. They don't stick out in the community. But when you really dig into the industry and see how many dollars it returns to this part of the state, and that we export 25% of our crop every year to feed people around the world, that we produce over, 2 or 3 billion servings of dry beans every year, it's a different impact that this field here has on what you think about beans. So that's what I really think I want people to understand about this region and the effect of the industry.